This might be the only dessert you're allowed to burn on the outside and undercook in the middle. We're making Basque cheesecake, but I couldn't resist making it a chocolate one and adding a few extra ingredients along the way. I've also got a great tip to ensure that it's perfectly cooked edge to edge. Now, a straightforward traditional Basque cheesecake is pretty much just made up of cream cheese, sugar, vanilla, and eggs. So the first thing I'm going to do is melt some chocolate. This is 58% bittersweet chocolate because I like the balance, but you can just as easily use 70, 80, 90% chocolate if that's your thing. Place the chocolate in a glass bowl over some hot water and just leave to melt, stirring from time to time until smooth. While that's melting, we can crack on with the rest of the cheesecake. In a large bowl, add your cream cheese, your sugar, and cocoa powder. Often traditional Basque cheesecake will have flour in it, which helps thicken and set the cheesecake. So the cocoa powder is going to help replace that function while also increasing the chocolatey flavor, which is really my only concern. Next, add vanilla extract and smooth peanut butter. I would say you can just measure these with your heart because you don't need to be super exact. Finally, a big old pinch of sea salt. I'm normally a Maldon salt dude as an Essex boy at heart, but I found this Cornish sea salt works really well in desserts because it has this more chunky rock salt sort of texture that holds up really well. Use a spoon or a rubber spatula to mix everything together until completely smooth. It shouldn't be too hard. Once completely mixed together, you can start adding your eggs one by one, beating well between each addition. You should find that the mix becomes lighter and looser with every egg you add. Now all the eggs are in, this is the last chance to add any extra flavors you're thinking about using. Citrus zest or liqueurs. I'm going to go route one with a shot of espresso straight into the bowl and mixed in completely. Then the melted chocolate is going straight into the cream cheese mix and getting mixed in. Now once the chocolate's in, don't dick about. I'm sorry to get all technical, but if you take too long mixing in the melted chocolate, it's going to start cooling and firming up, resulting in a grainy looking split chocolate mix instead of something smooth and glossy like this. Start in the center, mixing vigorously, drawing in the cream cheese mixture, and you should end up with a nice smooth chocolate mix like this. Finally, add the double cream and give everything a final mix. My cream was room temperature, but if yours is particularly cold, you might want to think about warming it up a bit, just so that when you add it to the chocolate cream cheese mixture, it doesn't cool everything down and cause the mixture to seize. Once you've got a thick, smooth, silky cheesecake mix, you can go one step further by passing the mixture through a fine sieve to guarantee a smooth consistency. But it is extra work and washing up, so if you want to skip that bit, I won't judge you. If you want the full step-by-step method all written out, you can find it over on my Patreon. It's a great way to support the channel and find all my recipes in one place. Preheat your oven to 240 degrees C and line a spring-form tin with baking paper, letting it come up a little bit over the edges. Now I like my Basque to look super neat, so I'm not about all that sort of scrunched up paper look around the edges of the cheesecake. So if you want to see how I line a tin like this, I've got a little video here that shows you how. Pour the batter into your lined tin, giving it a couple of taps on the countertop to knock out any air bubbles, and then leave it to rest for about 5 minutes. While it's resting, you can do one little trick that will stop your cheesecake from puffing up around the edges, sinking in the middle, and ensure an even bake from edge to edge. We're going to soak a clean tea towel with water. Wring out the excess water and then fold the towel to the same thickness of the tin. Then grab some tin foil and fold it to the same thickness. Wrap the wet tea towel around the tin, followed by the tin foil to help secure it in place. The wet tea towel is going to help protect the edges of the cheesecake by sort of insulating the tin, slowing down how quickly the metal edges heat up. The foil just helps hold that moisture in place and stops the tea towel from burning. That means the outer edge of the cheesecake bakes more gently, which is great because normally the edge is the first part to overcook. This causes rising and cracking around the outside edge, as well as changing the texture to sort of firm and dry. This little trick's going to help protect those edges, giving us a more consistent, creamy texture throughout the whole cheesecake. You can skip it, but I really think it's worth the extra effort. Then straight into the oven at 240 degrees C for about 25 to 30 minutes. Now the top will go very dark, almost burnt, and that is exactly what you want. This isn't always apparent on a chocolate Basque cheesecake, but you should still be able to see the difference. Once it has that dark, burnt top, remove it from the oven, and the cheesecake should still have a really good wobble to it. You don't want this set or firm. That wobble's going to give you the softest, creamiest center, so trust me, it's a good thing. Now you have to practice patience. Let it cool completely in the tin, then transfer it to the fridge and leave it to cool for at least 4 or 5 hours, but preferably overnight. This is going to make cutting and serving so much easier, but if you're not concerned about neatness, then you can pretty much serve it up whenever you're ready. While it's chilling, let's make a quick compote just to cut through all this chocolate and cream cheese. I'm keeping it simple with frozen fruits into a pan with sugar, lemon zest, and juice. Place everything over a gentle heat just to release the juices from the fruit and dissolve the sugar, stirring gently so not to damage the fruit. Then once the compote is barely simmering, remove it from the heat and leave it to cool completely. Now it's finally time to serve up our chocolate Basque cheesecake. Carefully remove the cheesecake from the tin, removing the paper and turning the whole thing out onto a serving serving plate. With a sharp knife and hot water, wipe it dry and slice the cheesecake into clean portions. Plate up with that sharp fruit compote just to cut through the richness and balance it out a bit. The dark caramelized top, rich custard-like center, and the sharp bright compote all work together to make one hell of a dessert. And it's not often you get to say that about a recipe you burn. If you want the full step-by-step method all written out, you can find it over on my Patreon. It's a great way to support the channel and find all my recipes in one place. If you try this, let me know how it turns out, and if you want more recipes like this one, check out this video next.